The painful truth is this: the modern money system rewards belief, not effort. And the second painful truth is worse. Most people are taught the wrong belief on purpose, so they will always chase money from a position of fear. In 2026, you can feel the trap tightening. AI is replacing middle jobs faster than anyone in your family ever predicted. Housing prices detached from wages long ago, and now even saving feels like rearranging deck chairs on a sinking ship. Inflation may have slowed on paper, but your purchasing power never bounced back to 2019. And while real families feel squeezed, the stock market keeps climbing like nothing is wrong. The disconnect is not an accident, it is a design. This is not financial advice, this is financial education. I want to talk to you about a kind of law people mock because it sounds spiritual, yet it behaves like a system. It is the mechanism behind why some people keep finding opportunities while others keep stumbling into the same problems. It is also the mechanism behind why the people profiting from the system keep repeating the same comforting lies year after year. And yes, we are going to connect it to the world you live in right now. The one with AI layoffs, interest rate decisions that change your rent and your credit card, APR, insurance markets collapsing after climate disasters, retirement plans that were never properly funded, and a global debt load that keeps rising past $300 trillion. By the end, you will understand what you have been feeding your mind and why it matters more than skills and discipline when the world gets hostile. But first, we need to kill a favorite illusion. Most people think their life is driven by external events: bad boss, bad luck, a recession, a bad housing market, a bad election. So they treat their thoughts like background noise. Yet the pattern is always the same. When your mind lives in dread, your behavior becomes cautious, reactive, and slow. When your mind lives in abundance, your behavior becomes decisive, creative, and fast. You already know what I am talking about because you have lived it. Picture a morning where you wake up and you feel wrong in your body, not a little off, wrong. Then your brain starts scanning for proof that something will go bad. You drive, you hit traffic. The light timing feels personal. You get to work and you have that sinking feeling that you forgot something. You did. You reach for a document, it is not there. Someone snaps at you. You leave feeling drained, and the entire day becomes a chain of course moments. Now compare that to a different day. You wake up and for no reason you can explain, you feel grounded. You show up calm, you plan better. Small problems get solved faster. People treat you like you have control of your day even if you do not feel rich. Your brain is not just experiencing reality, it is editing it in real time. And here is where the dark truth begins. Most people do not realize that their thoughts are not private. Their thoughts are operating instructions. They change what you notice, what you avoid, what you ask, and what you refuse to do. They change your timing, they change your risk tolerance, and they change who you trust. When people say the law of attraction, they often sound like they are selling a dream. But you do not need to believe in magic to see the mechanism. Your attention becomes a filter, your emotions become a steering wheel, and your behavior becomes the outcome engine. In 2026, this matters even more, because the world is actively trying to hijack your attention. Social media sells you passive income fantasies while your real finances are one emergency away from bankruptcy. Workplace messaging turns into daily stress signals. Every push notification is basically a tiny stress test, and then you wonder why your body feels like it is always bracing for impact. So let me make it brutally concrete. In the AI job market, millions of workers are discovering a new kind of fear. Not maybe layoffs. Real fear, the kind that hits when the recruiter says the role is being rescoped and your experience is suddenly irrelevant. You watch the same trends online. Learn to code, be your own boss, start a side hustle. Those phrases were already weak in 2020. In 2026, they are a joke because AI can write code faster than the average person you meet at the networking event, and because the side hustle market is crowded with people who also got the same advice. So what happens to your mind? It goes into survival mode. Survival mode is scarcity thinking. Scarcity thinking tells you to delay, to overthink, to wait until you feel safe. But safety is not coming. Not on your timeline. Not if you wait for confidence first. Confidence is usually the result of action, not the prerequisite. And while your mind is stuck in scarcity, institutions move. The Federal Reserve changes interest rates, and ordinary people feel it in ways that are not explained on television. Higher rates mean your rent competes with debt service. Higher rates mean financing gets more expensive. Higher rates mean credit cards bleed you even if your salary stayed the same. The Fed might say inflation is coming down, but you still feel like everything costs more because real purchasing power has not returned. Your mind experiences the world as tightening, and then you act like it is tightening. Meanwhile, the top 1% is not tightening. They are using the system. They borrow against appreciating assets. They negotiate terms. They buy volatility like it is weather. They benefit from the same interest rate environment because capital has options. Capital has lawyers. Capital has leverage. Capital has time. So tell me something. When you are told to think positive, do you think that is only about happiness? Or do you think it could also be about avoiding self-sabotage under pressure? Here is the next layer. Most people think the universe can only respond to their desires, but the mechanism is more literal than that. It responds to your dominant internal state. If you keep expecting delays, you behave in ways that cause delays. If you keep expecting loss, you take actions that lock in loss. If you keep rehearsing failure, you build a life that confirms your rehearsal. That is why the same problems repeat. Not because destiny is cursed, because your mind is training you like a dog. It rewards the behaviors that keep your fear alive. And here is where the story gets truly ugly. Modern life is not just happening to you, it is conditioning you. Let me give you a micro story that will feel familiar. A 32-year-old nurse named David works nights. He is smart, reliable, and exhausted. During the pandemic, he took extra shifts. He did what everyone praised: work hard, show up, take care of patients. Then in 2023 and 2024, his savings started shrinking in real terms, even though his paycheck looked fine on paper. Rent rose faster than his raise. Groceries rose faster than his budget. His credit card balance grew quietly, like mold behind drywall. Then he watches his social circle post about passive income. He joins a creator economy group. He tries to start a channel. He gets a few views, then nothing. Not because he failed as a person, because he is competing with algorithms and polished marketing, and because AI tools now let strangers produce content at higher volume than he can manage with his schedule. He begins to tell himself a story. I am not cut out for this. The system is rigged. I will never get ahead. And every time he feels behind, his body reacts with stress. Stress reduces follow-through. Stress makes him choose short-term relief over long-term improvement. Now imagine the next step. He is shopping for housing. He wants a place, but mortgage rates and home prices make the math hurt. He also knows rent could rise again. So he hesitates. He delays. And while he delays, someone else buys the house because they had better liquidity, or they were supported by family wealth, or they had access to cheaper credit. David experiences it as bad luck, but the truth is simpler. His internal state taught him to stall at the exact moment when decisive action matters. That is what scarcity thinking does. This is not about blaming you for being stressed. It is about understanding that your mind is not neutral. Your mind is an asset allocator, even when you think you are just living. So how do you change that? Not with affirmations that float in the air like balloons at a birthday party. Not with empty motivation. You change it by changing what your mind treats as possible, then changing what you do next. And now we get to the 3-step framework. Some people call it spiritual, others call it psychology. Either way, it works through the same levers: attention, belief, and action, followed by acceptance. Step 1 is placing an order. Not ordering the universe to give you a yacht. Ordering means defining a target so clearly that your brain stops wandering and starts scanning. A lot of people never place an order, they place a complaint. They say, I want to survive inflation. I need a better job. I hope the rent does not increase again. I just want out. That is not an order. That is a vague haze of fear. Your mind hears it as, I am threatened, and then you get more threats because your behavior stays defensive. In wealth building, vagueness is poison. So in this first step, you make the target measurable and time-bound, but you also connect it to behavior. In 2026, a good target is not just be rich. That phrase means nothing to your day-to-day decisions. Instead, you define an income and an asset goal. You define how much monthly cash flow you need to stop feeling panic. You define how much you can save consistently without breaking down. If you want a number example, here is a real one you can use as education. Suppose you decide that within 12 months you need to add $100,000 to your net worth through a combination of income and asset growth. You write it down. You define the methods as categories, not miracles. You identify one income lever, one skill lever, and one capital lever. And you do it in a way that your nervous system can actually tolerate, because consistency beats intensity. This is not fantasy. This is cognitive training. When you give your mind a target, it stops filtering the world like a victim and starts filtering it like a hunter. You begin noticing opportunities you would have missed. You notice which industries are hiring in AI-era roles. You notice which companies are expanding insurance underwriting or claims automation because climate risk is exploding and governments need systems. You notice which local businesses are struggling and which services are underpriced. You notice what people are willing to pay for, not what they admire. But here is where most people ruin the process. They place an order and then immediately sabotage it with their internal language. They think about debt all day. They think about what they cannot afford. They picture rejection before they try. They monitor their bank account like it is a predator. That is why I say the universe cannot hear. No, not in the magical sense, but in the behavioral sense. When you tell yourself, do not be late, your mind still rehearses lateness. When you tell yourself, Do not lose money. You spend months scanning for risk and avoiding decisions. Avoidance feels safe, but avoidance is how you stay stuck. So the correct order is paired with constructive framing. Instead of "I must avoid losing," you frame "I am building a cash buffer of X dollars in Y months." Instead of "I want not to be broke," you frame "I am creating predictable monthly cash flow by doing Z consistently." That is step 1, placing an order so your attention stops feeding fear. And now the cliffhanger part, because you might think step 1 is the hard part. It is not. The hard part is step 2, and it is the part nobody wants to admit. Step 2 is believing you have it already, not rationalizing it, not pretending, believing in your identity and your internal expectations, believing so deep that your behavior changes before the outcome arrives. This is where the average person gets offended. They hear believe and they think delusion. They think this is how cults recruit. They think it is irresponsible. But consider this: you already believe things constantly without noticing. You believe you are unlucky. You believe you are behind. You believe you cannot negotiate. You believe you will be replaced. You believe you are too old. You believe you do not have connections. You believe that retirement is a myth. You believe you are one emergency away from disaster. Those beliefs drive your decisions. That is why you keep repeating patterns. So step 2 asks you to take responsibility for the belief. And in 2026, your belief matters because the world is moving faster than you can rationally control it. AI can remap tasks overnight. Insurance can stop accepting regions after climate events. Employers can change job descriptions the moment your skill set stops matching the new workflow. When the ground keeps shifting, your internal state determines your ability to move. Now let me show you what belief looks like in a non-spiritual, real-world way. Belief is how you behave when nobody is clapping for you. Belief is whether you keep applying even after rejection. Belief is whether you track your spending without shame. Belief is whether you learn the new tools needed for the AI-era job market instead of waiting to feel ready. Belief is whether you keep showing up to build your capital base when the algorithm does not reward you immediately. Belief is not "you will definitely succeed." Belief is "you are the kind of person who acts as if success is possible, and then you act accordingly." Here is a micro story. Imagine a recent college graduate named Maya. She gets a job in 2022, feels stable for a year, then AI-driven automation starts cutting parts of her role. Her tasks shrink to minor approvals. Then her team switches to software-assisted workflows and the company says they are reducing headcount. Maya applies to similar roles. Rejection. She starts telling herself a story. "I am not good enough." That story becomes her subconscious steering wheel. So she stops applying aggressively. She takes a lower-paid contract job just to breathe. She watches others earn more and she feels resentment. Resentment drains creativity and makes her avoid networking. She even stops updating her resume because she thinks effort is pointless. Maya believes she is doomed, so she behaves like she is doomed. Now picture a different Maya. She still gets laid off. She still feels the sting. But she tells a new story immediately. Not optimism. Discipline. She believes she can reroute. She updates her skill set with the fastest-to-market competencies, the ones connected to business value rather than the ones connected to ego. She tests her portfolio. She applies with a plan. She builds a cash buffer while she transitions. Same external event, different internal belief. Different behavior, different outcome. That is step 2. But there is a trap hidden in belief. Impatience. Belief without patience turns into waiting for the universe to perform. It becomes an anxious monitoring of signs. It becomes a craving for immediate confirmation. It becomes you checking your portfolio every hour, reading headlines like they are prophecies, spiraling every time the market wobbles, and then calling that hope. That kind of expectation is not belief. It is uncertainty disguised as optimism. So here is what you do instead. You rehearse having it, then you detach from constant checking, you act, and then you let time do its part. This is exactly what people misunderstand when they try to apply vague manifestation advice to investing. They buy a stock, then they panic every day, hoping it rises. That anxiety tells their mind they do not have it. It tells their mind, "I do not trust the process." And then their behavior becomes inconsistent. They sell too early. They chase too late. They follow emotion, not strategy. In 2026, with algorithmic trading and high-frequency market reactions, emotion-based investing is especially dangerous for regular people. Not because the market is a villain, because the market is a machine designed to exploit predictable human behavior. Your job is to not be predictable. So step 2 is belief plus discipline detachment. And now step 3, receiving with gratitude. People think gratitude is just manners. It is not. In this model, gratitude is the internal agreement that you are already in motion. Gratitude is what prevents prevent your mind from falling back into scarcity after you take action. In 2026, gratitude matters because the system will punish you for expecting immediate payoff. AI disrupts roles, but results do not show instantly. Housing affordability is brutal, but improvement in your life may take years. Climate insurance markets can change suddenly, but your risk strategy must be long-term. Global debt and interest rate policy can keep financial conditions unstable, even if headlines say rates are stabilizing. If you do not have an internal anchor, you will abandon the process during the waiting period. So gratitude is how you survive the waiting period without turning into a cynic. Gratitude is also how you stay alert. Because gratitude makes you notice opportunities, not just threats. It makes you see which doors are actually opening. Remember how the original story from Old Wisdom says Newton and the apple? Opportunities do not announce themselves in a dramatic thunderclap. They appear as small chances: a conversation, a hiring manager reply, a contract lead, a course completion, a landlord negotiation, a new public policy that changes rent rules, a new technology that makes a service cheaper and more scalable. If you are stuck in resentment, you interpret everything as rejection. If you are stuck in fear, you interpret everything as risk. If you are stuck in desperation, you grab the wrong opportunities because you want relief, not value. But if you practice receiving, you create enough psychological space to recognize the right opening when it shows up. Now let me connect this directly to your 2026 reality, because you are not living in a book, you are living in a system. In 2020, the advice was, learn to code. In 2026, AI can build or assist with code at a pace that makes learn to code less of a moat and more of a filter. Many people learned the hard way that generic skills do not automatically create security. So what becomes the advantage? The advantage is decision-making under uncertainty. The advantage is mental state. The advantage is the ability to adapt your belief fast enough that you do not freeze when the world changes. In that sense, the 3 steps are not about cosmic secrets. They are about building a psychological operating system that can survive external shocks. External shocks are everywhere. Rent rises, utilities spike, food costs fluctuate, medical bills hit suddenly, then climate disruptions hit and insurance markets collapse, and people get priced out of entire regions. Migration costs rise. Labor markets shift. Pension plans underfund because long-term assumptions were too optimistic. Social security is delayed for more people. And the retirement age keeps moving because the math does not work anymore. This is not doom. It is arithmetic. And arithmetic demands a response. So, here is where understanding becomes darker. The reason most people do not gain wealth is not only because they lack knowledge. It is because their internal state attracts the wrong inputs. They attend the wrong events. They consume the wrong content. They network with the wrong people. They trust the wrong narratives. They hold beliefs that keep them small. If you spend your time watching creator economy hype, you get depressed when your channel does not explode. If you spend your time doom scrolling about AI replacing jobs, you lose the energy to retrain. If you spend your time believing the only path to money is a lottery like one big break, you avoid building a stable income foundation. That belief becomes your behavior, and your behavior becomes your outcome. Meanwhile, the people who do build wealth are not living in magical positivity. They are living in a belief structure that makes consistent action feel normal. That is why successful entrepreneurs talk about business models, pricing, distribution, hiring, and product market fit, not because they are robots, because their mind has been trained to focus on value that can be converted into money. Now compare that to how many people talk at family dinners. They talk about vibes, they talk about entertainment, they talk about fairness, they talk about how the world is unfair to them. Sometimes they talk about ideals and morals. Those conversations are not evil, but if they are your main diet, they keep you emotionally detached from the mechanisms of earning. And in 2026, earning mechanisms are brutal and specific. Job stability is not inherited. It is engineered by skills and demand. Capital is not nice. Capital is opportunistic. And wealth inequality is accelerating because those with assets can compound while those without assets struggle with baseline survival. So yes, there is a kind of self-conditioning happening, but it is not always done by you. Institutions condition you too. Your education system often trains you to be employable, not entrepreneurial. Many teachers are capable people, but they are not teaching business formation and wealth-building strategies. They teach test performance. That can be useful, but it does not prepare you for a world where entry-level jobs can be automated and where the ladder is narrowing. You grow up dreaming about a job you will perform for someone else. Then AI arrives and performs the job too well, and you are shocked. You are not shocked because you are naive. You are shocked because the system trained your expectations. This is why some people become rich without the traditional path, not because education is useless, but because they stop consuming the wrong information early and start consuming the kind of information that changes their decision patterns. One of the clearest examples of self-conditioning in wealth building is someone like Jack Ma, or even more broadly entrepreneurs who obsess over markets rather than prestige. Another example is people like Warren Buffett, who built a belief system around patient capital allocation and learning financial statements like a language. They did not just believe, they practiced inputs that reinforced belief.
And here is the part nobody wants to say out loud. Your mind is being trained every day by what you let in. That includes your news consumption, your entertainment, your relationship talk, and your money conversations. If your peer group believes in complaining, you will absorb complaint logic. If your peer group believes in working hard will fix it, you will ignore the leverage part. If your peer group believes in passive income as fantasy, you will ignore boring cash flow systems. If your peer group believes that the market is random, you will stop treating your own actions as controllable. Now let's make this uncomfortable. It is easier for other people to benefit from your confusion. Your fear keeps you employable. Your confusion keeps you transactional. Your lack of belief keeps you cautious. Cautious people are predictable. Predictable people can be priced, managed, and sold to. So if you want to break the cycle, your call is not to become positive. Your call is to become selective. Be selective about inputs. Be selective about communities. Be selective about what you watch and who you listen to when it comes to money.
In 2026, there is a new kind of media, AI-generated confidence content. It sounds like knowledge, it feels like certainty, but it is often just engineered persuasion. It triggers your emotions and keeps you consuming. Consumption does not build wealth. Consumption buys time, and time is the one resource you cannot get back. So the empowerment here is small but real. You can place an order, you can define your target clearly, you can build belief by rehearsing action and identity, not by waiting for miracles. You can practice receiving by staying grateful and alert during the waiting period, and you can do all of it while staying grounded in reality. Because I am not asking you to ignore the real world. I am asking you not to let the real world write your internal operating system for you. You still need to understand interest rates and how they transmit through consumer debt, mortgages, and business credit. You still need to understand that inflation damage can persist even when headlines cool. You still need to understand that housing affordability is a structural problem, not a temporary blip. You still need to understand that wealth inequality is compounding at the top.
You still need to understand that retirement systems are underfunded and people are delaying benefits. You still need to understand climate risk can make insurance vanish like a mirage. But after you understand that, you need a mind that does not collapse. Here is your final takeaway, the darkest one with a thin slice of power. Your life is not controlled by your intentions. It is controlled by your dominant belief, expressed through your daily actions, amplified by the timing of the world around you. Right now, the world is hostile to people who think in vague hopes. It is friendly to people who can define a target, act consistently, adapt fast, and hold belief through discomfort. So your call to action is this. Start placing real orders with real specificity, not complaints. Write your measurable target for income and net worth. Connect it to what you will do each week. Then practice believing you are already the kind of person who takes the next action, even before the results show up. Detach from anxious monitoring. Receive opportunities with gratitude and move fast when they appear. If you do this, you will become harder to manipulate, not because you are special.
Because you are finally steering your own attention and behavior instead of letting fear steer it for you. Drop a comment. Tell me the biggest financial lie you were taught growing up. I read every single one. If this changed how you see money, subscribe. I put out one of these every week, and most of what I cover, you will not hear anywhere else until it is too late.